I'm using FFMPEG to join all these files together, and when I tried to join the 4K video with the rear camera, the 2.5K, oh, it switched cameras. It heard me say rear camera. It switched views. Did it again. That's good. That's what I need. So this car behind me, in one mirror, I can see his headlight. Most of this car behind me is blocked by my box on the back of the truck. This is why I bought Wolfbox. Because I can have a camera on the back of my truck with a full unobscured view acting as my rear view mirror. So I was on split view and I said rear camera, this beep. If I say front camera, front camera. It's not changing. It's a split view, it's the front, it's the rear. I need the rear, but I'm recording both. So one of the experiments of today is MKE 600 shotgun mic, capturing the sound of the city. 2 is switching Osmo Pocket 3 to HEVC codec, which is what Wolfbox is using. It's not using H.264. I'm pretty sure that's 265. HEVC 265. I think 264 is far better. But for this experiment, Pocket 3 is on HD 1080p. The 2 Tascam cameras are on HD 1080p. We're all at 30 frames per second. We're using the same codec. It's a codec, a coder decoder. We're using the same codec. This codec is HEVC, H.265. Mr. Bus wants in. No, he doesn't. Now, I already feel not just safer, I feel 50 times safer having this dash cam. Half of that is the ability to see this white car coming up behind me that I can hardly see with my mirror. Whoops, Jesus. And in parking lots, it's even more important. Whenever I'm gonna back up, I've been getting out of the truck. Without this dash cam, this is what I do. I open the door, I step out, I walk literally behind the truck. I look in all directions, I quickly get back in the truck, and you have to do it fast. The way people drive today, they'll come zipping right up behind you. It's crazy. In a parking lot. That's what I'm doing. I did it last night. I forgot to even bring this camera. Go to the parking lot, went to Staples, get out of the truck to see if there's anyone behind me. This thing is absolutely brilliant. Now, this city, nobody thought this city would be this big. It's a prairie wheat town, right? And it's starting to get pretty challenging to move cars around in here. But there's little secrets. Taxi cab drivers know all of them. It's like, I'm not taking the main drag here. Where am I? This is Bannatyne? Okay. We are, yeah. Taking smaller, not busy roads. And I'm going to Wilderness Supply. Now what's happening is the post office is going on strike. Unbelievable, they're doing it again. So that means Now everyone's freaking out, right? Like, a lot of businesses operate on postal, right? They're screwed. They're screwed. For me, I've got 99% of everything I need. But I want this Bug Shirt Elite. It's called the original Bug Shirt Company. Bugshirt.com. I have one. I have the original Bug Shirt. I want the Elite because it has like a two-way zipper on the screen hood. So you have a hood with mesh over your face. The problem with the original one is when you unzip it, that mesh still falls down on your face. You're opening up from the bottom. This one, you can open it up from the top. So when I open up the mesh in front of my face just falls down below my chin. And why do I need this? Because I want to be filming at sunrise. And it's going to be infested. It's a one-way. Yeah, this must be a one-way. So we're going this way. Yeah, one-way. Last year, I was like letting insects bite me. I was this determined to keep filming that like a mosquito would bite into my neck and I'm just grinning and bearing it. But it was horrible. These things have mesh sides. It's like mesh under the arms so you don't overheat. Insects can't bite through the material on your arms, on your front and your back. Most importantly is the hood. You have a hood with mesh that you can open up over your face. So you wear a hat underneath it. You wear like a baseball cap underneath it. It makes sure the mesh isn't touching your face. Now when I'm going to put my eye on the EV of the Sony RX10, I need to open up that mesh. So while I'm walking around, I can have this mesh. When I'm ready to film, I can open the mesh. It's got polyester or cotton version. I'm not sure if they have both, but I looked at one last week. And this is really weird because I have to go into a back lane. See, this is what I mean. This city is tiny. The roads are too small. The lanes are too small. And I've got to go in this back lane. This building, it's got to be 100 years old. It's at least 100 years old. It's a brick building. It's a 100-year-old building. Most outdoor places are not located in a place like this. You gotta know the secret map to get back here. And what's gonna happen is the wolves are gonna keep an eye on my truck. Or is it 4 wolves? I say it's 4 wolves. It's a Wolfbox. It's for capturing wolves in front of me or behind me. Unless you have the new Tri-Pro. Now I turned my vehicle off and everything's still running because it's not even connected to the car. Wolfbox is running off Energizer Arc 300 Pro, and Tascam Portacapture is also running on the same thing. Okay, I got my bug shirt. I had to buy a size small. I'm a very small person. I was like scrawniest kid in school. Normally I would use a medium, but there isn't any. And there's no postal service, so I'm grabbing this because I need one. Now I'm gonna go buy a piece of that PVC siding that makes the walls of this truck to go on the back where the camera is. I'm gonna cut a little hole for this camera. So I'm going back across town to Home Depot. Portacapture is active, 51 minutes recording. MKE, what am I getting here? I'm hitting -4, -10, -8. We're good there. 32-bit float audio. So if I get too loud, which I probably will at some point, or there's a loud noise, like, could even be stuff like the sound of heavy equipment or a train, whatever, loud noise. I can just drag the audio down. It will not clip. Right? There's no clipping. You can't clip this. It's not clippable. I'm really curious to see, one, because the rear and front are both 1080p now, can I make a clip where it shows front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back? Can I do that? And can I join this Osmo Pocket 3 video with look at that. I've restored my vision. It's like it's a form of blindness. Not having a rear view mirror is a disaster. So in my opinion, anyone in a truck of any kind should have this, because trucks are sort of inherently bad for vision. And if you've got a truck that sticks out past the edge of your cargo bed, you for sure need one of these, because you're already half blind. So what they do is they put giant mirrors on those things, and then the mirrors become a problem. Like, you could bump your mirror up against something. But one thing I am done with, and that is large vehicles. So I look at these people doing things like, okay, we've restored this old army truck to be an RV. Are you sane? I mean, that's just not sane. The thing's gonna get 5 miles to the gallon, and it weighs way more than you need it to or wanted to. That means in reality, it's gonna be harder to get over obstacles because it's a heavy thing. And light is red. Doesn't say I can't turn. So there's that. There's, either like a giant Unimog military vehicle, Mercedes, right? Or I think any of those Earth Roamer type vehicles are ridiculous. If you get stuck, you're not even going to find anyone who will come to help you. Call a tow truck. They're going to say, no, I'm sorry, forget it. You're on your own, buddy. you better have good winches. Let's see, where are we here? Sherbrooke. And then you have your sailboat people, right? I wanted to do that. I wanted to do all these things. I was looking at a van to do the same kind of thing long time ago. I ended up buying a Ford Super Duty and I hate it. I hate that Ford Super Duty. It's a pain in the ass to drive. You can't see anything. You can watch the gas go down in real time. I have no use for a Super Duty. It seemed cool because it had these big wheels, and turns out it's not even that great off-road or in the snow. Like, what? Looks can be deceiving. It weighs 8,000 pounds. This thing weighs less than 2,000 pounds. Okay. I'm driving extremely careful from now on. I don't care if people get pissed off. This city is congested as hell. And people suddenly appear out of nowhere. That's the scary part. But back to the sailboat people. I wanted to do that with the fantasy of, the 7 Seas and all that. Extremely expensive. Don't think it's free. If you think that's free living, that's one of the biggest lies in the world. Because those things are going to break, and where are you going to be when they break? How are you going to deal with it? Boats are a dime a dozen. Most boats are in storage. If you enumerated all the boats in this province right now, 99.9% of them are not being used, and probably half of them are literally in storage. They're in a parking lot somewhere. They're behind a fence. People are paying money to store their boats. See, so getting a boat is not a big deal, but can you find the right one, and how are you going to get it around? So that's why this kayak is great. You can carry it with one hand. It rolls up to almost nothing. It weighs 19 pounds. I need the exercise anyways. So I would say choosing a giant box truck, wrong decision for like van life or camping. Wrong decision. It's too big, it's too heavy. You don't need that. It's the wrong vehicle. Some of them need a whole different class license. How much is it going to cost to operate to get from A to B? Similarly, a fixer-upper boat, mistake. People look for like a 50-foot sailboat that it needs repairs, and then, that's a mistake. I've been stranded enough in my life and spent enough hours fighting nature to tell you that's a mistake. I've driven a lot of old cars. This one's old. Okay, where are we here? This is William. Now, I can check this mirror. So that car behind me, I can't even see it. I cannot see the car behind me in my side mirrors. So think about this. Okay, Wolfbox is blowing my mind because I had a DOD dash cam like 10, 12 years ago. It was really good. Sony sensor. Sony rules the market on these things. I wanted to figure out how to make an archive of all my movements. And it's a big challenge because these things are not set up to be like, action camera. It's making a bunch of 3-minute clips. But this one I can deal with. DOD, back then you would just run out of space too soon. But it had an HDMI port. So I thought the answer would be you go to HDMI recording long ago, like 10 years ago. But that's a real pain in the ass. You need a whole bunch of other new equipment. Now, if I tried to archive real time of everything I'm doing, I could do it. Just upload it to YouTube. I mean, it's free storage. But why? No one will want to watch it. However, if I time-lapse this, so all I'm doing, I went across town, I went to Wilderness Supply, now I'm going back across town, I'm going to Home Depot, I'm grabbing some vinyl siding stuff, trim, and that's it. If I time-lapse this, it is an archive of what I'm doing. It doesn't take much space, especially now. This is 1080p. 1080p, you can record a lot of 1080p on something like a 512 gig card. Like, you could record for days and days on this thing, maybe even a week. So it's no longer, to me, a device where it's just a loop thing, where the only purpose of it is to grab what just happened, right? Like an accident. It's not that. It's 2 security cameras. It's my rear view mirror. This guy's really close to me. Now, when I adjust this mirror, so I lifted it. Yeah, I brought it down. All I can see is the Ford logo, I think it is, on that car behind me. Because the camera is so high up, and the angle, I'm probably going to change the angle. I did this in a hurry just to get it working before my trip a few days ago. Yeah, it is too high. Like, so for normal driving, I drag that down a bit. That's a brilliant feature. Now here we got this panhandler and my window's open, just to be safe. Some of these guys are aggressive. So the codec, the YouTube codec really struggled with leaves, the leaves on the trees in the forest, thin branches. It struggles. Gravel roads, or even any road, it struggles. These images will be a lot cleaner because there isn't a bunch of that. It's mostly man-made structures, right? So instead of doing the standard influencer type video, like here's this product, here's the box, here's what it looks like, that's how you install it, here's how you set the settings. That's not the way I operate. You show these things in use, all of them. Real world video. And I'm really quite miffed that my plan was to join this camera video with the Sony and the two DJI cameras, it didn't work because it's HEVC and it's not simple stuff. There's bit rates involved, so I might not even get it working. If it's a huge different bit rate, I might have to like essentially re-encode this and then re-encode it again or something. Like take the two cameras and encode them to some lower standard that they both can encode to. I don't know. It's annoying stuff because half the time it just doesn't work, but you don't know why it didn't work. And this is what separates techie from your basic consumer. Like, I did software for 20 years. You have to be willing to accept that there's no answer that someone's going to give you. So, you might have to try a completely different approach if it's what you're doing is not working. A different tool, a different command, different parameters. You might have to mess around with it till 4 in the morning, usually. So after not driving for like years, it took me a while to get back in the swing of this. And with this vehicle, I was terrified driving. Like, I didn't want to go on any busy roads. At least in the first week of having it. Now I'm a lot more comfortable, but I do have to be careful. Is this guy going to go? See, I hit the brakes because I knew this guy was going to do that. So the smart way to drive is this. I leave a big space between me and that car in front of me. Why would you not do that? It's a buffer where you could hit the brakes, right? But the standard thing is to go right up against that bumper in front of you. Nuts. That is absolutely nuts. It's more crazy on the highway. And now, the cruise control. The cruise control has a radar of sorts, right? I think it's a sonar. So, the cruise control, let's say, I set my speed to 100, but that car in front of me's got his running at 90. My cruise control will slow down in the modern cars and follow that car really close behind. This is what people do in a train of cars. They're all on cruise control. They're not even paying attention. It's suicidal behavior. I think it's crazy. That said, there's 3 things I'm missing here that bug me. One is cruise control. I don't have it. I do want that, and I'm probably going to try to figure out how to do that. 2 is a delay wiper. These are always on, super fast, or just constant wipe. I do not like that. I'd like to figure out how to fix that. The only way to fix the seat problem is to chop off the back of the cab. If I did that, I could put a different seat in here, maybe. Or somehow modify this one to slide on a rail and move back a bit. Like, if this thing could go back even just a few more inches, like, I would like it to roll back 6 inches just to be able to even park and stretch my legs out for a while. But it's not movable. You can't move it. Can't tilt it, you can't move it. You can slide it, you can slide it forward, but I don't know who would do that. So I'm taking this side road instead of these big main roads. What the hell? Oh, this dash cam thing is working beautiful. I mean the rear view. The rear view. I've never had a rear view like that in any vehicle. Because normally parts of the car are obscuring your view. Like even in a car, say take this Kia. This Kia in front of me. It's got visibility all around until you put a big box in the back. Then that rear view mirror doesn't work anymore. You can even have passengers blocking your view in the back seat. So instead of trying to make one video, here is Wolfbox, I'm gonna make a bunch of kind of more interesting ones. Like the best image out of this camera, the Starvis, is gonna be stationary, and it looks actually astounding. So let's do that. If I'm in front of the vehicle, I'm vlogging what I'm doing with the dash cam. I'm gonna do that. So let's say I go to a campsite. I just park the car in front of where I'm gonna set up my tent and go ahead and set up the tent. Starvis will record it without me having to pull out any cameras at all or do anything. It just keeps rolling. What about on a bike? This thing is 12 watts. You could use it on a bike. You could put this mirror on a bike. You could put this camera on a bike, and you'd have a rear camera, which almost no one has. You could put it on a boat. Now, here's where it gets real interesting. I'm going to get out of the vehicle, crawl in the back, and I'm going to lock myself into the back of the truck. Before I do that, I'm going to turn on Wi-Fi. Oh, big lineup. I'm going to turn on Wi-Fi. Oops. Turned on my Wi-Fi. Turn off Wi-Fi. It turned my Wi-Fi on and off with voice. Okay, let me start again. This is where it gets really interesting. I'm going to get out of the vehicle. I'm going to get in the back of the truck. I'm going to lock myself in the truck. I'm going to lie down in a cot. It's back there. Before I do that, I'm going to turn on that Wi-Fi. If I say it, because they will turn it on. It's like the secret code for children not to hear you, right? We're going to turn on Wi-Fi, but we're not going to tell anyone or show anyone. We're going to turn the SCREEN off. Turn off screen. The screen just went off. Turn on screen. We're going to turn off the screen. Turn it back on, please. Turn on screen. We're going to turn off the SCREEN and turn on the Wi-Fi. Get in the back of the truck and fire up the Samsung Galaxy Tab. and run the Wolfbox app, the back of the truck, you can see out both cameras. So, let's say, whoops, I fell asleep for 6 hours. Now, I want to get out of the truck. Well, I put a peephole back there immediately. I can look through there to see, like, is there a vehicle right behind me or something? Or is there someone standing right behind the truck? But this is next level, right? Like, I can look straight out from on top of the back of the door that I'm going to open up. This camera is right on top of the door on the back. I can look out the front, but actually I don't need to because there's a window here. The only window I have is the back of this cab. And I like that window because it lights it all up in there. But still, I can pair to the Wi-Fi. And not only can I look through the cameras, I can play back all my videos on this bigger screen, on the tablet screen. I can even download them. While I'm in the back of the truck, I can download them. I can change all the settings. You can do everything. Now, I played with wearable computers a long time ago, and I can tell you that Wolfbox is an advanced technology. We were trying to achieve the kind of low power consumption 20 years ago that they are doing, and they're doing it in a consumer product that just works, right? Like, if I just leave this and never touch it, all I'm doing is plugging it in, or possibly just turning the key, depending on how it's wired. You don't have to do anything to it. According to the Energizer Arc 300 Pro, this Wolfbox is using 12 watts until I turn off the screen. Turn on screen. It turned off the SCREEN. If you turn off that SCREEN, the power consumption drops to half. So this thing can watch your car all night, whether you're in it or not. If I'm in a parkade, it's going to keep watching. While I was at Wilderness Supply, it kept watching. While I'm going in Home Depot here, it's going to keep watching. While I'm parked in a campsite, but riding my bike, it's going to keep watching. And because I've already mastered the art of making time lapses from just about anything with command line type tools, let's say that recording was 6 hours. I was 6 hours out of the vehicle. If I turn it into a time lapse, it's really easy to see what happened in fast motion. Like, you could obviously see if someone was, like, you know, really close to your car, looking in the windows, that kind of stuff. Walking right up to the back door, you can see that. I'm using that technique to find birds in video. So I put Osmo Pocket 3 on a tripod, let it run for half an hour. Then I create a time lapse to see in fast motion, what did I get? They should build this into cameras. This should be a future camera feature when there's enough memory and storage and all that stuff. Just for viewing purposes. Speeding up the view helps you understand what you've got. Conversely, let's say there's an accident and I'm trying to scrutinize the footage I have. I can dump out all the JPEGs. I can have every frame spit out onto a big drive. Or I can double the frames. I can quadruple the frames. I can make 32 frames for every frame. So you might be trying to make out license plate numbers or whatever. None of this is stuff that you learn in a day, right? And you don't learn it on YouTube. You learn it by failure. Everything I learn is learned by failure. Everything, including how to stay warm and not, you know, how to not get robbed. All these things are learned by failure. How to not lose my keys. They always go into a key clip in my sling. Now, if you have a truck, don't park face into anywhere. That's stupid, because you can't see. That guy's not doing it, and I'm not doing it. So smart truck drivers don't back into it. Don't make it so they have to back out of anywhere. The bigger the truck, the more important it is that you do that. Okay, Portacapture, still running. 2 hours of audio. 2 hours. Oh, this is a 2 hour 32-bit float file. One file. 2 hours. A couple days ago, I had a 3 hour 32-bit float. Not to be confused with actual resolution, right? It's not the reason why we're going to these extra bits. We're using extra bits to have dual converters. Those are dual analog digital converters on the preamps. Those converters are Japanese, AKM, inside the Tascam. And there's no question in my mind, you know, who is the king of electronics? It's Japan. They were in the 70s. They still are. China and Korea and even now pretty much everyone, Philippines, whatever, they're all techie countries, right? They're all, but engineering wise, Japan has always been ahead of the game. Now in America you get some amazing innovation that you don't see in Japan. But this tariff stuff is one of the most annoying things I've observed in recent years. It's like, come on, there's buyers and there's sellers. What does that have to do with the American government? You know, I'll buy whatever the hell I want. It shouldn't be anyone else's decision. So I seem to have a big collection of Japanese stuff. Right? Sony cameras, Suzuki, Tascam, Korg. I have Korg, Tascam. It's all Japanese. The Korg wave state is, I think, the most intriguing device I've ever touched. Korg wave state. It's like an engine. It's an engine for generative music. Japanese minds at work. You really gotta be careful in this area of town. There's just so many cars pulling in and out.